Quick video. I don't have a lot of time today, but I think this is a good one just to show you that you can use the iPad and record into it and use it as maybe like your sequencer, because I know the sequencer on the SP, I actually like it and think it's still good, but it can be kind of complex, and maybe you want to be able to track out the beat anyway at some point and not just leave it in the SP. So I'm going to use boom, the one that I talk about I don't like the most, which is Cubasis 3. This is on the iPad. But what I do like about this is it's also on the iPhone. So that is helpful. So this is like your traditional DAW, right? So I just started a loop, and you can see I'm using all audio tracks. It's not that you can't use other stuff, but I'm just choosing to use audio tracks. I'll show you something in a second. You could route it from the USB and do an audio track that way. I just prefer sending the outs into the audio interface. If you follow my videos, you know I got the Duet 2, which is great for the iPhone. I got a cable I talked about in a previous video that goes to the Lightning, so I can plug right in, and that's what I'm using that audio interface with the iPad, and I'm just recording from here into it, right, with the drums. You can put your samples in here too, and then send them out. The good thing about doing it this way is, right, if you have the iPhone, you won't be using a lot of CPU or whatever they call it in the iPad. I'm not a very tech person, you can tell, because you're just using it as more like a nice interface, a nice linear DAW, so that you can put all your stuff together. So I'm doing the drumming in here. This is what I got. Let me turn this click off. Maybe I can turn up the iPad. Simple drum. Right, I could go back and in here it's quicker to edit. Let me show you what this is looking like, if I can. Let's move this in a little bit closer and see if that helps. There you go. It's kind of, let me get my wallet out of the way. Keys there. How's that? A little bit better. I mean, I'm gonna pull it a little closer for you so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'll do another one. You can either duplicate or in this case add. I'm just gonna duplicate, but if you duplicate, you know you gotta erase it. I set up my little 4-bar right there that I'm gonna do. If I wanna do a next section, I might move over and add another section, whatever the case may be. I don't mind Cubasis for this portion of it. I'm still not a fan of the editing, is why I don't talk highly of it at all. The editing in it is kind of, I don't know, it just bothers me. I mean, it's easy. Of course, you can grab here. You can do your phase. That part's easy. But a lot of the other editing and stuff like that, it's just not my vibe, okay? Doesn't mean it's a bad thing if you choose to use it. And I think having it on the iPhone is a very beneficial part. Like oops, I didn't mean to do that. They all have their benefits. You can go use over here, I believe it is. So you could do your naming if you wanted to. Like the first one, oh, I'm about to type it on the SP. I'm sure that'll work. What did I do first? I did the snares first. Punch that in. Go down here, rename this one to kicks. Not going to put a lot of thought into this. I'm just doing this really quick. And hats. Done. All right. And then if I had like a percussion, let's see, do I have any percussion that's already on here? Nope, sorry. Nothing really. Let's see if we can just see if we go here. I'll just add in, I'm on the SP, by the way, just going into the import section, import from the SD card. I'm gonna see if I can add in maybe, oh no, I don't want a picture. What would that do? See if I can find some J Dilla, C perks. Why is it snares when I press the perk? Snare perk, there we go. Ooh, that's loud. we'll just throw that in. Just a little tambourine. Let's add it in. So you'll watch over here now. Just throw it in. This is the clicker if you need it, which I'm going to use it just for the sake of showing you here. I like to start back. I'm giving myself basically a 2-bar count in technically. Okay. And then just see, this is another thing, like the way it comps and all that. I guess that's comping for this or whatever. I don't know exactly what it is. So on, let's do this because I like this back end a little bit better right there. And then see like where's the duplicate button? There's a copy. So I can go copy, I guess, and this is the stuff where I'd say I don't. Okay, if I see this now, I just want to paste. See, I don't know. And maybe it's just me, but I got to figure out how. Okay, you just move it this way. Obviously, I don't use this a lot, so you can tell I'm looking super extra rusty with this one. All right, so we have. Take this out. Then you can do the volumes. I think the volume's under here. It's not too bad, I guess, for a basic. I mean, if all I had was the iPhone and I had to use this, it wouldn't be too bad. I would probably rock with it. But Koala's my thing. I'm just so more fluid with it. But in here, you got a full DAW, so you can do all your extra stuff that you want to do. Or you could use AUM on the phone too, if you just want to put your parts into it. Like if you built it all in the SP and then bring it over. And by the way, it's an old iPad, so it's still running Cubasis 3 pretty well. So I'm not saying Cubasis wouldn't crash if I was using a bunch of stuff in it. But for the most part, if you're just putting the audio tracks in it, I think you'll be all right. That's not too bad. I mean, just for a simple beat, I'm just putting together something just to show you. Again, same principle. Go in and name it. This is, you could put tambourine or you could put perk, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to put tam. There you go. So yeah, you could sequence this. Another DAW are not DAW-like thing. There's not really a DAW on iOS to me. This is the closest one to a DAW, but well, of course you can use Beatmaker 3 if you have the iPad, but I'm thinking for iPhone users too, something that's on both. And obviously you have AUM, which you can do the mixing in if you wanted to. You have this one that's on iOS, and there's one more. Oh, there's AEM, which I'm not a fan of it just because I found the editing to be on audio to be even harder than this one. So for me, that was like a no-go. But if you like it, it's worth the trying. It was one more, and my brain just can't think of what it is right now that you can do on iOS, and I can't use my phone because we're recording. But any of those. Oh, I was thinking Loopy Pro, because Loopy Pro has not only the ability to create loops in it, but then there's this like layout where you can actually place each one in there. What is it called? Each clip, I guess, in there or something like that, if that's your bag. I would probably go this over Loopy Pro because I just like this being more like a DAW. But again, you don't have to use this if you're using the SP. I'm just doing this because this is the way I would work. I typically use Ableton, but this is an option that you have. I think you can make everything smaller. Yeah, you can move it. Interesting. Yeah, so here you go. This is an option. Oh, I see. You press these little buttons to change which direction you want to move it. So if you want it to be a little wider. Okay, whatever. All right, and then, yeah. I think that's it for this video. I mean, you can, if you want to insert your effects, there's an insert effects, obviously. So you could tap here and whatever effects you have. Like if you want to put, you know what, I would rather put, see, I don't like really. How do you get rid of this? if you don't want it in there. Okay. Turn the power off, maybe, I guess, whatever. I was looking like, I'm so used to having an bus effects, and I'm sure there's one on here. I just don't know this very well. So this is, what is this? 1 and 2. These are your outs. So you'd have to, I'll be honest, I don't know this thing very well. And it probably frustrates me more to deal with it like because of that. But if you knew how to do that and add a bus effects to a channel, like if these were grouped on a channel, let's see. Channel. And routing. Okay, these are group tracks. Okay, so that's the group tracks. Okay. So maybe 3, 4. What I'm interested in doing. No, I don't want that. This is a stereo. Hold on a second. No, I'm very much confusing myself, and I probably could figure this out if I sit here and mess with it, but no group tracks in this project. So there is a way, because there's an option there to put group tracks, but I don't use this program enough to tell you how to do it, to be honest with you. I would have to sit here and play with it and try to figure it out. But Mobile Music Pro, yeah, he's the guy for this. If you decide to use Cubasis 3, chime into his videos. He's got a ton of videos that are great that can help you use this program if this is your method to doing it. Otherwise, I'm just going to get rid of that for right now. I think it saves in the background anyway. You have AUM. This iPad is super dirty. I can see it on camera. I apologize in advance. And there's not much I can do about the lights because I need my lights on right now. But so you have AUM. You've seen me kind of do some stuff with that. And then probably the simplest way that'll get you close to feeling like you're using the SP still is just do it all in here. Now, if you don't have an SP, don't worry. It's not like a life or death thing. You can still do everything in here if you want. But the one thing in here that's challenging, at least in my opinion, is it's not that you can't like press a pad and right, and you could sit there and drum out. Hold on, let's do that again. Watch this. You could do this. You could go. Okay. And then capture a part. Watch. So you see that's where the loop would start. You basically drum out a 4-bar pattern. It automatically will chop there. And then this is how I do it in the SP, right? Same thing. And then I pick off the ending of where I want to drum past it just enough to where you can crop it. And now you have a good loop, right? So press hold. You have to work on your timing though for that. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to say that everybody should do this. I don't even know what timing that is in. I'm just drumming it, right? Just a simple drum pattern. But that's cool because you can do a time stretch if you felt like, hey, I want this to be a little bit. As long as your drum is pretty fluid, you could time stretch it and say, I want this drumming to be at like, let's do like, I know I'm not drumming at no 120, but let's do I was going to do 112. Let's do 112, okay? And then I would say, okay, I'm going to time stretch it. So now, as long as this is pretty good at timing, you should. It's pretty good. Not too bad. So you can put that on loop. Add in a fill. Okay, chop it there. And now you got to feel. Hold on, let me stop it. Right? And then put your feel over the top of it. So you could go, let's say your feel, stretch it. Okay, so now it's there. And then you could go in here. So this first one, you see it stretched is 2 bars, right? So we're going to go double. We're going to go 4 bars. We're going to set in 2 bars. And then I for just sake of getting them right on, I'll snap that one to the grid just to be sure. And then I'll go to the arrow and hit repeat. And now I know I got a good 2 bars. That last one stretched, this one, is only a bar, right? So go back in here and there's a bar. Oops, finger just, there's 1 bar right there. If you're wondering whether it is on, hit snap, you're done. Now watch. Hold on a second. Let me turn off the loop part. See, because it'll loop. Okay, good. Now go back to sequence. And hit here. Snap. Should start. Something I did wrong here. Okay, that part's working fine. Go in here. Looks good. So, tell you what, put a 1 shot on that and see if that works. Little weird. Maybe I have it on the wrong. Oh, you know what? I bet I have it on the wrong sequence or something, maybe. Oh, it's right there. Interesting. Stretched across 2 bars. So this is a moment we're having here where you see Koala's not picking up for some reason. It should be able to pick up even without the 1 shot on. It should be able to just pick up, right? You see it picking up there. It's picking up the 1 bar. Let's see why it doesn't pick this up. There we go. Having a moment. Okay, so I don't like where that's hitting. I want it to hit toward the end, so let's see if that helps. Sort of, yeah, it sort of works. Maybe it should be here. Nope. So all I'm showing you basically is that you can see how you can, if you made something in the SP and you want to just kind of have something to put it to make it like a DAW-like, you could just record it in here and then sequence it up here. But if you don't want to do that method, then you go back to a method where it's more like a DAW. You can use Cubasis 3 or my favorite, AUM, and whichever one just works for you. Beatmaker 3 is amazing if you have the iPad, but I like to speak in terms of those that may not have an iPad. Maybe all they have is the iPhone, right? Or whatever you have that you can use. But any program that can take audio, right? You can record it into it and do it that way. Yeah, so there you have it. If you want to duplicate that, just hit that and double up. Right now you got a longer 4 bar. You want to stretch that out, that fill out. Maybe take the fill off here and put a different fill. You know, the good part about the iPad is all this zooming in and out is so much it's so easy and doesn't require a mouse. You can do it with your hand. I know on the phone it's a little more challenging, but believe me, I do it. So I got big old fingers. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and show my fingers, stupid. But anyway, yeah, I have big fingers, so it can be done if I can do it. Now, I would dare not want to try this on an iPhone mini. That would be, it's not impossible, but that would be really challenging for sure. So yeah, you could add in other stuff if you had something. Anyway, I'm just messing around. So, all right, I'm in this video, 20 minutes in. Just wanted to show you ways you can use the SP to record out if you're aren't familiar with the resample method, or even the sequencer could be bothersome to some people. So that's it for this video. I think the next video, I do want to do a video where I show you how I use the sequencer on the SP if you decide that's something you're interested in. The SP can be, I think it's for the most part for $550. It's pretty affordable for what it can do. And I think, I mean, as far as like being on a budget, everybody's on a budget to some degree. Some people budget just higher. But it's not a bad piece of hardware if you want it. If you can't afford it, don't be trying to, pressure yourself to get it. It's not a necessity. It's nice though. But the you can definitely use Beatmaker 3, which is right there. I didn't mean to open that. Beatmaker 3. You have Koala, which is great, which is like the SP, digital SP. And by the way, you can use that on the phone, like I've said before. AUM as a mixer. And then if you even have the phone, you can use Cubasis 3. So you got options. No reason to sweat if you don't have one or the other. Just find which work for you and make it happen. All right, I'm out. 22 minutes in. Let's go.